Oh,
You'll be just fine. And oh crap, I forgot to do this, but that's okay because we are rolling. What is up, adventurers? Welcome back to Dungeons and Dragons and Discussions. It has been a minute since I've had any of these videos. That's because I prepped that one shot and I I will never get tired of D&D, but I needed a break from D&D. But we are back with two guest stars, and I once again have a decent question for them tonight. So I don't want to spoil the question, but I will say this: the world of D&D is very magical. There's a lot of magic in it, in case you couldn't tell, where you can go walk through where you can take a nice lovely stroll through a graveyard, but you have to be afraid that it's something that a zombie will pop out of the ground and eat your face. It's
Or
just
worse.
or worse. That's right, or worse. Blobs. Gelatinous cubes, dragons. It's a magical world, and with all of that magic, there are magical spells, and that is what the topic is tonight. So I won't spoil the question. Let me just on your right we have Mr. Brandon, and the voice from beyond is our friend Matt. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me tonight.
hello.
Hey, anytime, man. Excited to chat.
Nice. Good. Hold that enthusiasm. Generally, I wouldn't say my camera's a bit off. Generally, I wouldn't say this is a debate, but there has been times where there has been cause for slight debate. But the question for tonight is kind of two different things. But the main one that I want to focus on: magical spells. What is the most useless spell in D&D? Because I know there's one out there.
Okay.
As
Oh,
I'm a warlock, right?
Yeah.
Making sure my spells are like lined. Like I have
Yeah,
a
you gotta get your
I
use out of them.
I have everything planned out. My combat, like, okay, I hit them with fireball, then Eldritch Blast 12 different times, then maybe I'll hit them with my staff. I have to make sure that my spells are planned out. Then I started realizing, hey, this spell that I decided to learn is really useless. So, D&D, what is the most useless spell in it?
Now, I
go
just
ahead, Matt.
is this like of all D&D or just like the current edition? You know.
Oh. I will
Yeah.
say for right now, if you can think of a really funny one,
Hmm.
I'll say all editions. But whereas I know there's people out there who play older editions, if you can
Yeah,
think of like a really hilarious
sure.
one off the top of your head, go for it. But otherwise, current edition.
All right. Well, I gotta say for current fifth edition, True Strike, by far the most
True
useless.
Strike. Yeah, I've heard that one before. It's it's so situational, and there's better ways to gain advantage. Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
Here's my problem. So I this might be a cop out, but I am in the position mostly because primarily I DM, but I really enjoy like the role playing aspect of it. I think I don't know if there is really a useless spell. I think there are spells that are so situational that it would be difficult to use them effectively, but I think there's a place for everything
you
cuz
know, that's true because like there have been times where I played been playing my wizard and I'm looking at my spell book. I'm like,
yeah.
I picked that spell up because I thought it'd be useful, but I haven't used it in the last 7 sessions. So like,
Right. Hey,
you know,
but there was something that like something had to happen in your mind to go that's when I would use that.
hmm
So it's like, what situation are you waiting for to say, "Oh, that's when I need to use that spell"? Because when it does, dude, when those things line up, that useless spell, that one that like nobody wanted or nobody expected, just comes in clutch, like just out of nowhere. You're like, you have no other way, and then here comes True Strike random spell, and it's like I'm giving myself advantage on this, and it's like that might be the way that ends it, you know?
Yeah.
So my job here is you guys discuss the thing. I'm here to add my 2 cents and throw like my own curveballs. Starting with, tell me the use of alter hair right now. Tell me that there's a situational use for alter hair, please.
So like,
You know what?
I have a question
Quick
for that.
disguises, man. Quick
I was gonna
disguises.
say,
I
yeah.
will, as a DM, I will absolutely give you maybe advantage, or maybe I'll lower the DC if you have done a quick spell like that to alter your appearance if you're trying to make a quick getaway, for sure.
So like, does it alter the length of your hair, or is it just like hair day?
Ah,
You know, because like that's another one. Because like
I'm gonna look.
I was thinking along the disguise thing too. But like, if you were to suddenly grow your hair another like 2 feet, and then like turned your back when you like ditched a corner or something, you know,
yeah, you're a different person.
pretty much, yeah.
Or maybe you didn't have a beard.
Yeah,
Beard is
yeah,
hair,
yeah.
man. You didn't have a beard. You grew a beard in 2 seconds. Now you're a different person.
Here,
Right.
1 second. I'm trying to look up the spell, and for some reason, it's not pulling up in my database. No,
But
it's
like,
cantrip.
Alter hair.
Alter
even
hair.
along the same lines, you can like suddenly give yourself like from like a rough looking face to like a nice waxed mustache that's like curled at the tips, and like you
Right.
go from like a beggar to like a fucking
Right. What if you're trying to make a
fresh,
persuasion
like
check?
looking guy.
Yeah, you're doing a persuasion check. You're standing in front of the queen. You guys have been adventuring for weeks. You know, you've got this haggard appearance, and you're like, you know what?
Haggard.
Let me use this random cantrip to alter hair. I'm going to clean myself up. I'm absolutely going to lower the DC on that persuasion check.
All right. Instantly cut the creature's hair to whatever pattern lengths you choose. You instantly change the shape and style of the creature's hair. You instantly clean or soil the creature's hair. You color
Done. Endless opportunities.
endless opportunities. You color, scent, soften, or stiffen the creature's hair for 24 hours. You cause the creature's hair to grow up to 2 feet.
You know,
Pre-existing hair.
Yeah.
Like I point out.
Think about that. That's drastic. That is a drastic change.
Look, I can't grow a beard. I have fuzz, but I feel like there has to be, like, if they're a clean shaven guy, it says it has to be hair. You make their hair grow.
What if they just have like just a little bit of scruff, you know? And
Right.
then suddenly they have like a beard that's like 2 feet long. Like that's a serious change.
Yeah, I mean it is
Right.
D&D, so I
I'm quite
suppose.
good, so take advantage of that like situation, like easy.
All
Yeah,
right.
situationally, that one checks out.
Yeah. So actually, you keep saying situationally. Going back to that, actually, because that's something I want to touch upon. Even though it doesn't, certain spells, like the planets have to align, and like you need like a certain like rune under someone's feet. You need to have like certain things exactly in order. Have you heard about the whole Rangers being the worst class, right? You guys heard that before?
Yeah, Rangers get a bad rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked through the Rangers the other day because I was helping someone learn how to play D&D. And he wanted to be a Ranger. And instantly I'm like, "Oh no." So, I'm over here crying cuz like I got to find a way to make his Ranger the most overpowered Ranger ever so that he actually enjoys playing it. And Rangers, all of their powers and abilities that I looked up, they're not bad. They are not bad at all. However, they need to have certain things. They need to have certain starting positions in order for all of their powers to work out. For example, Gloomstalker, the Gloomstalker Ranger. At 3rd level, you master the art of ambush. You give yourself bonus to initiative rolls equal to your wisdom modifier. At the start of your first turn of each combat. Like,
Yeah.
that's it.
Here's
your first turn. That's
right.
it.
Fine print. Here's your fine print.
Yeah. And this ability is gone. It's like, and it's nice. It's nice. Speed increased by 10 feet. You take the attack action. You basically have a sneak attack from a rogue, because if that, you take an extra 1d8 of damage of that weapon's damage type. It's like, it sounds good, but freaking at that point, just be a rogue with a bow. So it's just certain things line up, and a good majority of their spells line up as well. For example, rope trick. You just like pull a Looney Tunes type of thing, create a little, noose trap. Someone steps in it, and the odds of the person stepping in that spot, unless you you're a dungeon master and you have them roll some type of like
I was just gonna say that.
perception
Yeah.
check, but if it's low, let's see. It doesn't say that. You touch the length of rope that is up 6 feet long. One of the rope then rises in the air. The whole rope hangs perpendicular to the ground. At the end of the rope, an invisible entrance opens an extra amount of space that lasts until the spell ends. I feel like anything over a 10 perception check, we'll be able to see the sudden black hole that opened in the ground.
So maybe, all right. Maybe it starts at 10, right? You gotta know how you would do it. It starts at 10, right? But narratively, if he's gonna say, well, we hit it behind, or we hit it around a corner, or we hit it right behind this giant tree, and we're gonna chase him in this direction, or there's multipliers you're gonna put on it. So maybe it starts as a 10, right? And you're like, all right, if you just put that in the middle of nowhere, if you put it in the middle of your path, sure, anybody who rolls higher than a 10 is going to see that. They're going to try to avoid it. But if you add additional features to it, and that's when rogues have that ability to kind of like fall back onto that creativity of the person playing them. So your rogue, you know what I mean? When I think rogue, my thought is to always go in that more like Aragon, like early stages Strider, right? So he was this dark traveling guy who just knew nature, right?
But edgelord from nature,
edgelord of nature. So like that's my archetype for when I'm thinking ranger. But think about his ability to do things within that persona. So what would he do with that to maximize that, right? He would try to hide it. He would try to put it in an advantageous position. He would try maybe put it in a creative position. You know what I mean? Having an extra dimensional black hole be the trigger for the trap. Maybe it doesn't have to be on the ground. Maybe it, you can really get creative, and if you reward that creativity as the DM, you're gonna get better and better explanations.
I'm sorry, I actually misread this spell wrong. Frick, this is why I'm not a dungeon master. This is why I don't play. I mean, I am. I'm learning. You touch one end of the rope, then rise.
It always happens.
Yeah, I know. Matt, let me get your 2 cents while I read this and make sure I read this right. What's your thoughts on situational spells and how to make them better or worse?
Here's the thing. It's always difficult to choose your spells, like when you level up, and then it's always difficult to choose your spells for each day. So like you gotta look at your situational spells and be like, how likely am I going to use this? Because you don't want to be taking Featherfall until like a town session,
Right.
So like you gotta always like pick and choose what you're going to do, but like
do you ever have fun with that though, Matt? Like you just take the gamble. And you're like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to throw this random one in there. Maybe I'll use it. Maybe I won't.
Yeah. And it mostly turns out I don't end up using it.
Nice.
It's been a while since I played my wizard. So, nothing really comes to mind. But like, again, like during your campaign, Brandon, just last session, I took damage and stored what was it, delayed poison or something in your homebrew spell gem thing.
That's right.
I was like, cool. Maybe the people we're fighting tomorrow will
try to poison you.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they'll have poison arrows or something. I don't know.
You know me so well.
Yeah, definitely. And that didn't happen. No, I could have gone with another healing spell, gotten Sean up one more time, or my brother. They both went out like 3 or 4 times.
Sometimes that's like,
it was a close fight.
There's a utilitarian purpose for things like that, but I love that you put a spell that you didn't know whether or not you were going to use, and that is a situational spell right there. So maybe if you had like a little bit of security to say, well, it's just an extra spell slot, I might as well put something random in it that might come in handy. Because think about that in the action of it. Like, if you were able to use that, that would be so clutch. It'd be like, how did you think to add that spell?
Definitely. And that's actually why I picked, delay poison for the additional, like, for the item. Because, like, if I had not had that item, I would not have, ever used that spell.
Right.
Like, it doesn't come into play a whole lot. Like, not in my experience anyway.
Now, if you want to talk about situational stuff, like if you get into like the deep magic, like the theoretical 10th level spell, stuff like that, those things, literally the stars have to align for that to work.
So that's what I was gonna go next. I have 2 questions. I have backup questions, everything to keep the conversation going. First one I want to go, might be a little shorter. Are there certain spells that are not useless but are difficult to use?
Yeah, I mean, from a component standpoint, so it's difficult because Matt's in my campaign, so I don't want to give away too much. But yeah, there are like 10th level spells that it would be almost humanly impossible for you to even gather the components necessary to complete that spell, even though it would be an incredibly, world-altering, powerful spell. The likelihood of you being able to complete it or to do it is slim to none. So in our campaign, it was, that was one of the biggest things that set everything into motion to create the current age, was a failed attempt at one of these 10th level spells where the king at the time was trying to ascend to this immortal realm, and his spell failed because anything at that level, like that spell at that point, is useless because of how specific everything has to line up. And in that case, it did not.
Yeah. And I do agree that some components, like I'm looking at spells. Actually, my favorite 9th level spell that I'm gonna get eventually in my one campaign is gonna be my favorite 9th level spell is Power Word Kill. It's my favorite spell.
Power Word Kill.
I love that spell. No components. No component cost for it. But another spell that is super useful, True Resurrection. It's like, all you need for it is a sprinkle of holy water and diamonds worth at least 25,000 gold. Right. So, which the spell consumes after, by the way. Which you may.
And if you play Resurrection like Matt Mercer, it's not even a guarantee that it will work.
Freaking.
So that's a gamble right there. You're gonna drop 25,000 on diamonds and then try to burn them. You better hope that person wants to come back.
Oh, I never even thought of that.
So, for me, for the most difficult spell to use, I would say would probably be, almost any resurrection spell that you would use on your party, because you don't want them to go down to begin with. And like this is just because my current character right now is a cleric. I'm on the Twilight cleric, making things difficult. And like I must have blown through so many healing spells in the last campaign or last session to keep everybody alive.
Just to keep everybody standing.
Yeah, it got to the point where I had like 1 spell slot left just for Revivify, and like I didn't want to use it, period, unless like somebody definitively died.
I've never played a cleric. Is there legitimate anxiety with like holding on to that last spell slot for Revivify? Because
Kind of, because you don't know if like you can heal somebody and just like bring them back up.
right,
They're only at
right.
like 6 HP, and it's just like, what? That's like, and honestly, after you one shot my first character, yes, there is a
Oh no.
anxiety there.
There's a little bit of fear there.
Yeah.
Put the fear of the gods into him. Revivify especially, talking about stupid spell requirements. Revivify. You touch a creature that has died within the last minute.
Yup.
Minute.
That just means within combat. You
Yeah.
gotta catch them while you're still within combat.
I know.
So,
and I understand combat is 6 seconds. But look, your friend goes down and he's dead, and you know he's dead, and he's standing at the feet of a demigorgon. You're a squishy cleric. You're not a war cleric. You don't want to get close to that thing to go touch your friend.
you better run by. You better run next to him.
Hopefully, if you're fighting the demigorgon, you have a little bit more than Revivify at your like disposal. But
True.
No.
At that point, I mean, just try to get him up.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a distance cast. That's a, hey buddy, can I give you 5 so you can get out of there?
Oh no! You're in my world right now. He's dead. You got to go get him.
Oh yeah, no.
Hard dead.
All right. One more question that I have. So you guys give me a. There's no true useless spells. There's just things that are situational. So
Right.
it just depends on the situation. Like you may be holding on to that my least favorite spell to use, friends. You may be holding on to that and like, yeah, sure, I'm your friend for 60 seconds. You're gonna be pissed at me when that spell runs out though. And short, yeah, fine, that's all good, whatever. But anyways, so it just depends on the situation, like you guys would say. Not a useless spell. But to end this discussion, how about the most useful spell in D&D? Because I know there's some out there.
Mine's kind of lame, but I always think about like from a practical standpoint. I love the concept of prestidigitation. I think it has.
Shut up! Freaking why?
I think it has so many uses. Like if you could just decide, like, oh, that's clean now. Like that alone is amazing.
Oh come on, Matt, give me something to work with here.
The most useful spell. Well, I really liked Disguise Self to the point where like every time I can, I'll get a hat of disguise. I don't even care.
I don't even know if this is going to be effective, but
Yeah, no, for real though. Like
now if we're going for shock and awe, I gotta go with the just fireball. You got to.
Are you just
Shock and
playing
awe.
favorites right now? Because that is my favorite spell to
effective.
use.
It is effective. It's just your powerhouse, man.
Now, unfortunately, I would agree with you. However, I really love Eldritch Blast. I love using
Really?
It's a cantrip, and especially when I pair it well. I'm a warlock. I do the charisma thing, so I add my charisma modifier to the damage. Pairing that with a D10 of damage, and like a maximum of at like average of like 10 full damage at 15. Like if I have a little more extra charisma modifiers, it's even higher. That's a lot. That's
Sure.
a lot.
But it's just spam. You're just button mashing the
I
whole game.
I do feel
Yeah.
bad. I do feel bad as a warlock that when I run out of my spells. That's why I screwed myself with this one character. I'm both Fey touched and Shadow touched. So
Jeez.
I know I'm waiting. I feel my dungeon master just sitting there. Oh, there'll be a day.
Yeah, you're just gonna be
There will
ripped
be a
apart.
day when all hell breaks loose, and you are at my mercy. That's okay. I'm possessed by an evil spirit currently, so it's already going in his favor. But yeah, I like Eldritch Blast.
Perfect.
Yeah, I know.
Eldritch Blast.
Yeah. All right. What about what like a top tier spell? Like give me a top 3 spells right there.
Top top 3.
Yeah.
Of the top tier of like big guys.
If you like any spells, your top 3 spells that you think are like cream of the crop in D&D that you think deserve to be like, look, you need like if you're building a character that can learn these spells, get these spells. Like you're talking to someone, like something like that.
Man, I mean, if you could build the ultimate, you'd go Meteor Swarm, Wish, and Power Word Kill. Just end it all. Literally break the entire universe.
I don't like how you just strung all those together like it was a normal conversation.
Yeah, just throw them all together.
That is asking a lot, and I feel like, ugh. All right, so story time, little story time. My father enjoys 3 things, right? I used to play with him. He was my first dungeon master. I played in his game.
Yeah.
His favorite thing to hear was, "Oh, hey, I have the wish spell." Oh, excellent. And this is why. This is why. I know it's not like this in D&D, but this is how I would spin the wish. Tell me, all right, you're casting wish. Tell me what you're wishing for. Go ahead. Tell me what you want. Go ahead. Tell me what you want. Go on.
I wish to be king.
All right. The next day, you are the king of all the Locath, the fish race, in the bottom of the sea. Guess what? You can't breathe. Because and you drown. You gotta be so specific.
He's a leprechaun. Your dad is a leprechaun.
You have to be so specific with the wish spell. And I agree with this. Like it's your D&D makes it sound like it is your get out of jail free card. No. You gotta work for it. At that point, I know you already are. Wait a second. Is there no monetary cast for Wish?
No.
What?
Wish is just wish, but there's you could be limited. So you roll to see if you ever get a wish again.
Really, I didn't know that part.
But
which is what happened. So, well, I don't know. I don't know if that's the actual rule. So I'm a Critical Role nerd. So in campaign 1. Scanlan was the only person to ever get to the level high enough to have a wish spell. And he planned on using his last 9th level spell to wish for their friend to be released from the grasp of the Raven Queen. But he ended up having to use his 9th level spell to use a counter spell on Vecna, which was the only reason that they were able to actually defeat Vecna. So it worked out. But he had to roll to see if he would ever get another wish again. And his last wish was for the character that they lost to the Raven Queen to return for one last time, but only one last time during his sister's wedding to pretty much say goodbye. But after that, that was it. Canonically, he lost Wish after that point because he didn't roll high enough to retain another one.
Oh. So, okay. Yeah, go ahead, Matt. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I didn't know that last little bit of that, but what would I wish for? Well, see, the one time I cast Wish, our DM did the reverse thing, and he basically ended up like killing my character and then the whole party with it.
Wait,
but,
the reverse?
That wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you.
The reverse thing?
Was like, you know, I want to live forever. Okay, well, you live forever in like this terrible place and you can never escape. You know, you're rotting away in a
no.
And it's like, okay, cool, thanks.
That's a little too twisted. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm all for. Yeah, keep going.
Okay. If I did get the wish spell, I don't know. I'd probably just wish for whatever magic item I wanted at the moment, because like that's how I tend to.
Oh yeah. Hold on.
He's like, I'll take a Diet Coke.
Yeah. Let me see. What you said, you would wish for a magic item that you wanted at the moment, that you yourself wanted at the moment.
Yeah, because like, you know, no matter how busted the item is, like if you can like combo it in with if you can like work it in with how your character works, like it can just like become even more broken on top of it, you know.
Let me think. I'm trying to think. Your wish is that you wish for a magic item that you wanted at that moment.
Yeah, I'd be
So
like, well, like I normally have like some items in mind that I kind of want to keep an eye out for,
okay, I feel like
Sort of 1,000 truths.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I feel like I would need to know your character a little more and we don't have time for that. But I
yeah,
feel like that would depend on your character. And
yeah. It does a lot.
yeah, it does a lot. And I can't believe there's no monetary cost. And here is actually I'm bringing the last bit of wish. The stress of casting this spell to produce any effect other than duplicating another spell weakens you. After enduring the stress, each time you cast a spell until you finish the long rest, you take 1d10 necrotic damage per level of that spell. Yikes.
Jeez.
It doesn't stop. This damage can't be reduced or prevented in any way. In addition, your strength drops to 3. Holy frick! And if it isn't 3 or lower already, for 2d4 days. For each of those days that you spend resting and doing nothing more than light activity, your remaining recovery time decreases by 2 days. Finally, there's a 33% chance that you're unable to cast Wish ever again if you suffer this stress. Yikes!
Oh God.
So, all right. So you do have to work a little bit for Wish.
That is a rough one.
So I just had a thought
It
though.
was not nearly that
So,
bad in 3-5.
It's a whole ritual to become a lich, right? You have to. It's got to be specifically timed. You have to have all of these components. What if you just wished to become a lich?
Why would you wish to become a lich?
Because you could.
Why not?
I mean, honestly, I feel like it's easier. Well,
Could you just bypass all
magic.
the prep work?
yeah, I was gonna say like I feel like 9th level magic is like super ultra secret or you know, but then I'm like, how hard is it to learn how to cast Wish versus how hard is it to become a lich?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
So,
it feels like the microwaved version of becoming a lich.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I think it doesn't say specifically, or if it does, it's one of those like unspoken thing.
I mean, would you be able to choose your phylactery as you like cast the spell? Like how does that work?
It's just the nearest thing to you, so
Or would you just become like an undead?
it's a blade of grass.
Yeah.
Like Goldguide?
Phylactery is a single blade of grass.
That would be funny. That's how I would spin it, to be honest. Is the most minuscule, but then that would be like that could either be the most like overpowered or broken thing. It would be either terrible,
Right? Because
or
how do you
overpowered.
find that one?
Yes!
Find that one piece of grass. That's true.
Yeah. I never thought of that but I feel like
Just set the whole field aflame. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah, exactly. You have to find a specific field and yeah, I don't know. But like magic.
There are ways.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting at. Is that well, not really. What I was getting at is there are spells out there that they seem useless, but you guys are saying that they're not useless. There's a time and place for everything. Whether you are the murder hobo of the group or the eccentric bard who just wants to be a hairstylist. I had that in one of my campaigns. There will be a time and place for all the spells. Some spells are a little difficult. Others are a little overpowered. But hey, the one bottom line of everything is there will always be a cost to magic spells, whether that be physical, monetary, all that jazz. So that is all the time we have for tonight. Brandon and Matt, thank you for joining me in the little interesting discussion. Thanks
for having me.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it certainly has been a wild trip. Any closing thoughts before I send us off?
It's your world in D&D. Just do what you will with it, man. Whatever spell you want, whatever you can think of, just make it work.
Yeah. And mine is there's always magic that can help you out, In any situation, you just have to find the right spell for it,
Nice.
Nice.
I'll take that. All right. Well, for everyone watching at home, thank you for joining us. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, I am Rick Quasar, and thank you for joining me and Brandon and Matt in tonight's discussion. And hope to see you guys in whatever question I come up with next. Have a good night.